Hey, welcome back to Tybee Time. Today, I'm going to show you how I make my Hungarian creamy mushroom soup. So good. Stay tuned. Okay, here's what we're going to use for the soup. Let's start in the back. We've got about 10 ounces of cut up mushrooms. I have 3 cloves of garlic that I put through the garlic press. I have 1 white onion that I diced up. Here I've got salt and pepper, thyme leaves, paprika, dill weed. That's about 1/3 cup of flour and butter and heavy whipping cream. And this is chicken bouillon. This is what I make my chicken stock from. And then at the end I put a little bit, well, not at the end, I put a little bit of this dry vermouth, and you can use white wine or red wine or just chicken broth is fine, but this is what I use. So let's get started. Let's go over to the stove. I'm going to start off by putting my 1/3 cup of butter into the pan. I'm going to turn it on a medium high. And I am going to use a little bit of olive oil. I forgot to tell you that, but just a little. I like to mix the olive oil with the butter. So we'll get that melted, and then we'll drop the onions in. Okay, while the butter's melting, I'm going to put the onion in. And again, that was just it was just a normal size onion. It wasn't giant, it wasn't little. And I'm going to let this go on the medium-high heat for about 3 minutes. Okay, that's been going about 3 minutes, and now I'm going to add my 3 cloves of garlic. Now, you don't want to cook this garlic for very long. You don't want it to burn, so you want to stir it in, and then we're going to add the mushrooms to slow down that cooking process. So stir in the garlic, and then add the shrooms. And I'm going to cook this for about 5 minutes. So we'll stir this all together and we'll be back in about 5. All right, so this has been going 5 minutes. I'm going to add in my flour, and I'm going to stir that about. And then I'm going to add the wine. The dry vermouth is what I'm using, but it is a concentrated white wine. And like I said, you could use red wine. You could just use the chicken stock. Whatever you would like to use, you can use. You could just put water in if you'd like to. But I'm going to use the dry vermouth. I just want to cook this for a good minute to get that raw flour taste out. As long as if you don't see any flour, then you can go ahead and add your liquid. Okay, there's my dry vermouth. And I'm going to add, that's probably about 3/4 cup, because that was at the end of the bottle. Make sure I get it all. All right, now we're going to stir this around. And I am making my chicken broth right now. Like I said, I use better than bouillon chicken with water, and I have that heating in the microwave. And then I'm going to add that. Stay tuned. Okay, now I have my chicken stock. I'm going to add all that in. Get all of that out. And I'm going to just put a little bit of seasoning in this, and then I'm going to let this simmer on the stove for about 20 minutes. I'm going to add some salt and pepper. Salt. Pepper. A little more salt. More pepper. Okay. I'm going to add some thyme leaves. You know what? I like to put it in my hand and kind of wake it up with my fingers. Okay, that was probably about a tablespoon. I'm going to add some paprika. Yeah, that was probably 2 teaspoons. And then I'm going to add some dill weed. And that's probably 2 teaspoons as well. Now, I like these spices. I don't know how you feel about them. You can do this however you prefer. And when I show you recipes, I show you how I do it. You can make it your own. You can try it, make it one time, see what you like, see what you don't like, and then adjust from there. So I'm gonna let this simmer for about 20 minutes. And we'll be back. Okay guys, so I am back. I have let this simmer now. It actually has been simmering about 40 minutes. It isn't necessary to simmer it this long. I just got busy. I didn't feel it could hurt anything by letting it go a bit longer. And now I'm going to finish up by adding my heavy cream. And there's probably about 1.5 cups in there. This was an open container. There's 2 cups in this container when you buy it, but I use some of that for some whipped cream. And I'm going to let this heat on the stove now for another 5 minutes before we serve it. And once it's a little bit warmer than it is right now after adding the cream, you can check it again for salt and pepper to see what you think. Okay, so I'm going to let this heat more and I'll be right back. All right, so here's how I serve up my soup. I start by adding a few croutons into the bowl, just a couple, well, just a few. And then I like to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese in the bottom of the bowl with the croutons, and then I pour the soup on top. That's just how I do it. You don't have to do that, but I really like it that way. This smells so good. Oh, I forgot to grab a spoon. Let me grab a spoon. Okay. Give it a little mix with that Parmesan cheese. Boy, it looks good. Okay. Mm. Mm. You guys, please try this recipe. It's so good. Thank you so much for watching Thyme Time.